Hello, it's Stephanie with Pantry to Plate. So I made a post yesterday, I shared on Facebook, and I also sent an email out letting you know that there were some big changes that are coming for Pantry to Plate that I'd come back and share today. And I'm super excited to let you know what's going on. So what I'm going to start with actually first is if you are not familiar with Pantry to Plate or with me, I'm going to share a little bit about myself, about the company and the mission, why I started Pantry to Plate, and then I'm going to get into some of the great changes and additions that are coming. So my name is Stephanie, as I said. I'm the founder of Pantry to Plate. I started Pantry to Plate because I'm on a mission to help more families eat dinner at home together more often. Research over the last 50 years has shown that families that eat together regularly have huge benefits. The kids tend to perform better academically. There's actually less stress for the family overall. There's better family relationships. And everyone in the family, the grown-ups, the kids, everybody makes better eating decisions. So typically, even when they're not eating together, they make better decisions around what foods to eat and around portion control. So eating homemade food with your family regularly has huge, huge benefits. And so I want to help more families do that. So, what does regularly mean? Because when I started researching this and just when I got married, it was a really big deal for my husband and I to eat at home together before we got married, like when it was just the two of us. And then, as our careers started to change and having kids and adding that to the picture and things got really crazy, it got harder and harder. And we were like, is this the thing we want to give up? And for us, the answer was no, this isn't the thing we want to give up. This is still the priority. So we had to find, really unique, efficient, sly ways to make sure that we still ate at home together, ate homemade food together. But I kind of started asking myself, why? Why is this a big deal to us? Does it really matter? And so that's when I started researching, does it really matter? And so finding so many studies that, came back and reported, again, over the last 50 years, people have really been looking at this for a while. Although it is almost 2020, so 50 years ago was 1970, which to me, it's still 30 years ago. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic. But people have been looking at this for a long time. So when I started doing the research around, does this really matter? And kind of finding that answer to yes, it does matter, right? Families who eat together at home regularly have experienced all these benefits. I was like, well, what's regularly? Right? Because that's a matter of opinion. And what I found is that 3 times a week, so that's actually less than 50% of your meals, 3 times a week. Homemade, made at home food together as a family at home. That's what it takes. That's considered regularly. And that is when families start seeing these benefits, right? The academics, the less stress, better health, better eating choices. That's when families start to see the shift. It's 3 times a week. So it's that's not that hard to do 3 times a week. That's not even every other night. And so I really realized okay, this is something that I can help people, busy moms, busy families, move that needle. If you're thinking about it like a gauge, how do you move that needle for yourself so that you're eating at home at least 3 times a week, hopefully more, right? And you're starting to see, you're experiencing these benefits. The other thing is that we all know, meal planning and cooking real food, eating at home from real food saves you money. And we know, again, that it helps you eat healthier, right? It's always going to be healthier than eating out. It's going to be healthier than buying pre-made food from the grocery store. Although, trust me, both of those things have a place in my menu and have a place in our life. But they're not the primary. Eating at home together, cooking real food is the primary. And so I really realized okay, I can help people with this, right? This is something that I have developed a system around, and it's one of those things where it's I know people don't have time to necessarily learn and apply a system. So how can I make it as easy as possible for them? And that's really where Pantry to Plate comes from. I'm full of passion for this mission to help people eat together. I know that families that eat together more often will see these sorts of benefits. And I know that these are the kinds of benefits that really align with almost everybody has one of these goals for their life, especially as we're looking into starting a new year. Everybody has things that they want to see improve in the new year. They either want to make healthier choices or see themselves or their families become healthier, or save money, or spend more quality time together, or just experience more, joy and being present in the moment. And having real food at home with your family can help deliver on any one of those things, all of those things. It's not just like, hey, we think this is the truth. Like, this is the truth. And there have been scientific studies that have shown it for over 50 years. So that's why I do Pantry to Plate. And that's really what I'm very, very passionate about. So Pantry to Plate, there's a few different ways that, actually more than a few, that I help families eat dinner together more often. And so a few things that I do are free, right? So I have my website and I've got recipes on the website. I've got my blog that has tips, tricks, etc. That's all there, and that's for anyone to go check out. So that's pantrytoplate.net. Definitely go check it out. That's free stuff. I also have a meal planning group that I host on Facebook. It's private, and it's really just a place for us to share successful recipes. I share meal planning tips. I share my meal plan for my family every week. Not super formalized, just like, hey, literally, here's what we're eating this week. And if I have links to those recipes for my site or whatever, I'll include that. Other people share their plans, their recipes. And every month I focus on a specific topic, right? So maybe I'll look at okay, how do we make breakfast easier and more efficient? And I'll share tips, tricks, ideas, templates, strategies to make that easier, packable lunches, slow cooker, holidays, etc. So I'll focus on something different every month and share that in the group as well. So that's another free resource available for everybody. The last 7 months actually, so since July 2019, I've also been doing monthly meal guides. So what these are ready-made full meal plans. And so what I mean by that is, when my job started to get extra crazy, I actually switched companies. I was commuting 120 miles round trip every day. I was traveling internationally for weeks, multiple weeks at a time. Russia, Argentina, really halfway around the world, every direction. It was okay, I have to figure something out. And so what I started doing was looking at meal planning as a monthly affair. And I was somebody else has to be doing this. We're not the only busy people in the world. And I started to look for meal plans online, and I was willing to pay. And at that time, everything that I could find, the free stuff was all the same, where it was really just a list of meals. Hey, we're having spaghetti and meatballs tonight. We're having chicken and dumplings tomorrow. We're having, this kind of salad or whatever. Just a list of meals. That was it. And I was well, that doesn't really help me. And then even the paid stuff that I could find was kind of a little bit further, where there were links to recipes. And that was there. I was okay, that gets me a little bit further, but I would still have to make the grocery list, and things weren't thought out. And so what I mean by that is every night could be completely different, and week to week didn't make any sense. And so maybe I would go and I would buy a special ingredient to make one meal, and I would use 1 tablespoon of it. And then I'm when am I going to use the rest of this? It just didn't make any sense. And so that's when I started looking at monthly meal planning for our family. I don't plan exactly all 30 days. I think that's completely unrealistic. For us, I plan 4 meals a week. We stick to those 4 meals, and then we kind of fill in around those 4 meals. But what that does is it allows me to use ingredients efficiently, which means, we might eat something in week 1 that has shredded pork, and I will cook that shredded pork, and instead of cooking 1 pound, I'll cook 2 pounds. And half of that will go in the freezer, and in week 3, I'm going to use the rest of that shredded pork, because protein is usually the item that takes the longest to cook for meals. So if you're a step ahead on protein, you're a step ahead on your meal. And so it allows me to do things like that. And so I built the system, right? I have all these little tips and tricks that I use that I've figured out over the years. And I was it's really thinking to myself, somebody else needs this. Like I said, we're not the only busy people in the world. We're not the only, I'm not the only mom that also has a career in the world. There's a lot of people who are in similar situations. And so rather than trying to teach people the system, because again, the problem is primarily time to do the planning, etc. I just knew it wasn't realistic for busy people to learn this. That's why I decided to start producing the guides. So this is essentially my system in a really nice full color printed book that I send every month. And so the way that it works is the recipes are not for a single dish. right? So this one, I'm just picking one, is a 1-pot pasta. I'm a huge fan of 1-pot pastas. Don't boil the pasta separately, cook it with everything else. So pretty much all my pasta dishes are like that. Again, just to make prep as easy as possible. And a spinach salad. So it's for a complete meal, and it tells you how to make those 2 things in succession. So when you get to the end of the meal, you've got everything done. You don't have to figure out like, oh, this pasta looks good. What are we gonna eat with it? And then how do I time the steps so the entire meal is done at the same time? That is how I write my recipes. That's how I write the instructions to make every meal. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I use that monthly approach like I shared earlier so that you're using ingredients efficiently and so that you're saving time without marathon meal prep sessions. I'm not gonna say I don't have time. I mean, I have a hard time with that phrase. It's not that I don't have time to do meal prep on the weekends. It's that I don't want to. Like, let's just be honest. I don't want to do it. I want to be spending my time doing other things. And so I don't advocate, I don't include, I don't expect anybody to do those sorts of prep sessions. Your meal prep is when you make the meal, and sometimes you're leveraging that to make meal prep on a future meal even easier, right? And so that's what's built into this system. The other thing that I include is conversation starters with your family, right? So ways to connect with your family. So it includes conversation starters, things besides how was your day today, and then also ideas for getting your family involved in preparing the meal, which I know is super hard and like I'm not excellent at it. At least I don't think I am, but I try to be, right? I try to be very mindful of like, even if I'm just giving or asking, inviting my kids, my husband to take on one job with meal prep, it's still another moment that's quality time as a family and still teaching my kids critical life skills. And so I've got that for every week, not just for the month. I've got that here for every week. And then for each recipe, I have these shortcuts, swaps and notes. So just, hey, like if you want to make this even easier prep, this is where the frozen vegetable will work instead of the fresh vegetable, or whatever. Swapping out different kinds of meat. Like, hey, maybe your family doesn't do pork and this recipe chicken's your best option or whatever. So I've got that here. So that is kind of how the meals work. I also have every month kind of your monthly stock up grocery list. So these are the items so that you're just checking your pantry and freezer one time for the whole month, not every week. So one time you're going to look at your pantry and freezer and you're going to see, okay, what do I got? What do I need? I have every item coded with the meal. So if you decide you don't want to make a certain meal, you can just easily scratch it off the list. And you do that check in that bigger shopping list one time each month. And then each week you have a short shopping list. Look, very few items, simple. That's your fresh stuff that, isn't going to last obviously a whole month or even a couple weeks. And that's your weekly fill-in trip. Now I don't plan every single meal for the month. That's crazy. I don't do it for me. It doesn't make sense to do it for you because we all have a lot of stuff going on. We have favorite recipes, etc. But I do give you ideas for every single night so that you at least have something really simple to turn to for inspiration. Like, I don't know what else to make. Here's ideas for every single night. Okay, so that's how the meal guides work, the printed meal guides. So this full color, beautiful printed meal guide comes to subscribers, arrives to subscribers every month. And this is the service that I've offered since July. What I did in October is I actually went and asked everybody, current subscribers, my entire email list, everybody who likes my page, everybody who's part of the group. So like over 2,000 people. And I actually went into a couple of different moms groups and asked them too. So definitely over 2,000 people. I went and asked like, hey, can you fill out the survey and just tell me a little bit about your struggles with meal planning or what would really help you cook at home more and eat together more as a family. And I learned a lot of things, right? So the top points. The first thing I learned is that people don't mind cooking. Overall, people who responded to the survey said that on this 10-point scale, like 10 being great, cooking is like in the 8.5 range. Like they don't, like cooking's fine. They don't mind cooking. What they hate is planning. Planning was in the 6 range, which is pretty low at a 10-point scale. So don't mind cooking, hate planning. So really looking for somebody to just be like, hey, here's what you need to make, which is what the guides are aiming to do. That people want a very clear and simple plan, which is very much how my meals are written. As you saw, like got a nice full color image on each page. The ingredient list and the instructions still fit in a little kind of, right, in a very small space. So something that's not complicated. That the grocery list does alleviate stress. And having recipes that are really, really tasty, simple to make, and that turn out as expected is what you want, right? When you spend a lot of energy, or I mean, really any energy, when you put energy into making something, you want it to turn out as expected. And when those things turn out as expected, you feel better about cooking. And when you feel better about cooking, you do it more. And that was the thing that I really didn't expect. Between the survey and actually a couple of DMs and text messages that I got from subscribers, all within about a 3-week period, that was the light bulb that clicked for me. It's like, oh my gosh, when you feel better about what you're doing in the kitchen, you do it more often. It's like this natural thing, and that makes sense, right? That's how it is everything in life. We get to, like in our, careers, whatever, you take on something new, right? Cooking, a new job, a new hobby, another kid. You take on something new, you get good at that, that becomes your new normal, and then you crave growth and you want to go to the next thing, and cooking's the same way. And so by having something, a plan in front of you, you take on that new thing, you tackle it, that's the new thing, you get good at that, you feel comfortable cooking from those recipes, from those instructions, etc. And then you're ready to take on, okay, instead of cooking at home 2 nights a week, I'm ready to do 3 nights a week, or I'm ready to try one of those recipes from a Pinterest board that I've actually been too intimidated to try. Or, oh my gosh, maybe I'll try a vegan recipe. That would be really wild. So that is how you grow, and that's how you become more confident and ultimately cook at home more often and eat healthier. And so that's really what I want to help you with. And then the last thing is really, I've only provided printed access in the past, and everybody wanted, it was like 90% of the folks that responded, of the moms that responded, wanted both. They still want this for the newest, but they also want online access. So for example, like, oh my gosh, I have to run to the store between between dropping the kids off at school and and going to my doctor's appointment or whatever. I don't have my list for what I need this week. Having that online access as a backup is great, but also having online access to more information than what comes in here. And that's where I'm going to start talking about some of the awesome changes that are coming. So with that, what I'm really excited to launch and to tell you about today is the Pantry to Plate Supper Club. I wish I could put fireworks in the video. So what the Supper Club is it's this, right? This is still part of that. This is our core product. This is our core, this is the core way that I help people. So this is still part of the club. You still get this every month. In addition to getting this, there is an online aspect that's going to be included. And it's not just, because I thought about just doing this as a PDF and I was like, oh no, I can do more. So it's also going to be online access to the current guide and all of the previous guides, which means when this puppy launches, January 2nd is when it's actually going to go live and you can get access and log into the club. You'll have 7 months worth of meal plans right there. Boom. So if you want to do any swaps, if you want to do any changes, if you want to cook at home more nights a week, or try new recipes more nights a week than what we've got here, you have a stable of things to choose from, including the grocery list and such. So it's all right there. So it's online access to the current issue and all past issues. And that will, of course, obviously continue to grow over time. It's also going to include online access to videos. Oh my gosh, I have been doing lives a lot, but I've been starting a huge list of just videos that I want to do as well. Cheat sheets, templates, idea lists, worksheets, all of these things that I have been creating as part of the challenges. And so what's been happening with the challenges in the free Facebook group is that I create these different resources that are focused on a theme for the month. I post them one time in the Facebook group. They're not mapped on the site. So can anybody get to them right now? Yes, technically, if you have the link, you can. That's going to change. Those are all going to be password protected soon for the past things. I'll still do challenges in the Facebook group. Don't freak out for free. But the past resources are going to go into this password protected members only part of the site. So things like I've got a breakfast thing right now, right? So it's a sheet of 5-minute breakfast ideas. I've got another one that's like a list. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I think it's 9 ingredients that you can keep on hand. They're pretty long lasting ingredients, things that last, 2 weeks or more in your fridge, freezer, or pantry. That are breakfast ingredients. And then it's like over 20 ideas of different breakfasts that you can make out of those ingredients. My on the go lunches template worksheet, I've got that. So, different videos about, like videos talking about slow cooking and some of the tricks and tips there. All of those things are going to be in the password protected community as well. So it's easy to get to. So right now, even though people can access them for free, you have to know how to find those links. So you basically had to be part of the challenge and on my email list when I did that challenge. You have to have that email still sitting in your inbox. So this is going to make it a lot easier to go back and access those things over time. You also get access to this online community. So what's been great about the private group is that people share things, they ask me questions, they give me feedback, which is really, really helpful. And that's what's been great about the online community. There's also been a lot of things that have happened outside of that group. So like people DMing me, pretty much DM. A couple people have my phone number and some people will text message me too, or even send me an email. So I really want to start moving those things from like one-to-one, because then other people don't benefit, and putting them in an area where lots of people can see those questions, see that conversation, see the advice that I'm sharing. Okay, why didn't this work? Like I tried to make this, why didn't this work? And being able, that's seriously the number one question I get. Like I tried this and it didn't work. What do I need to do with different recipes and stuff? So taking those out of kind of those one-to-one and being able to put them in a place where more people can get to those answers. And hey, you might have that issue too. So you'll have the online community. And the other thing about the online community is if you're going into the new year and you're really thinking about change, right? Like what are the changes you're gonna make in your life? And you're looking for accountability and support, you have an opportunity to get it with the online community. That's your choice. If you want it, it's there, right? We're here to cheer you on and we're here to help you. That's my goal. I want to help you cook real food at home more often. With that, I do want to add a little caveat. I don't focus on a specific diet or way of eating, but I do create recipes for the most part that are very flexible. We've got a couple, more than a couple actually, excuse me, moms who have specialized diet themselves, or their children have allergies. We have one mom whose family all has different allergies, and have found that the swaps and substitutions with the recipes are very, very easy and straightforward. I'm not a nutritionist, right? I'm not a chef. I am a self-taught at-home cook. I'm somebody who has been in the thick of it and had to figure it out. And I want to help other people just kind of get to the finish line, not have to figure it out. Get to the point where you're cooking at home more and you're eating healthier, you're saving money, you're spending more time with your family, and you're feeling better about how you're nourishing yourself and your family. That's what I want to do. I want to help you improve, right? I am a big believer in progress, not perfection. So if we can just get you eating at home one more night a week, cooking real food one more night a week in your first month, in the second month, you can go to 2 nights a week. Your third month, maybe you go to 3 nights a week. Your fourth month, maybe you go to 4 nights a week. And then if you want to start implementing things that are a little bit trickier, like maybe you want to figure out like, hey, does this particular ingredient or food family irritate me or irritate my kids? You've gained your overall confidence in cooking to the point where you're ready to tackle something that's a little bit more complex like that, right? And you can do that. So that's what we want to help you do. We want to help you get going. And make that progress little by little so that you can continue down the path that's right for you. But you got to start. So I'm super excited to launch the club. I'm super excited to be making these resources available that have been piling up on my hard drive essentially, and making those available for everyone. So right now, between now and January 1st, because this is the time, right? Like this is the time when we're all ready to gear up for something better in the next year. Between now and January 1st, you can join as a charter member. So what does a charter member mean? So as a charter member, the first thing is you'll get 25% off for your first 3 months. So the regular price for this is $24 a month. I am holding that price. I'm keeping that price, and I'm adding all the online stuff, which is crazy if you think about it. Like going from starting out with one new thing every month to like, hey, you're gonna have 7 months off the bat and you're gonna have all this other stuff. So I'm keeping that price of $24 a month. Shipping for this is free. So it's $24. I mean, if you live somewhere where you have to pay tax, I can't control that, but $24 a month. So I'm holding that price. As a charter member, you will get 25% off that. So you'll get it for $18 a month for your first 3 months. And then you'll go to the regular rate, but that regular rate will be locked in for 2 years, as long as your subscription is continuous. If you cancel your subscription and then you rejoin, you're going to rejoin at the regular rate in the future, right? Which is, pretty common, kind of to be expected. But as long as your subscription is continuous, you'll pay the regular rate, the $24 a month. So the first 3 months, 25% off each month, and then you'll lock in that $24 rate for a total of your first 2 years. The other thing, kind of the third thing, right? 25% off, lock in for 2 years. The third thing is you'll get our best referral program terms that I'm ever going to be offering. I can promise that, which is when your friends join, they will get a discount. So when you join, and if you're a current member, you're going to get this too, by the way. If you're a current member, you will get charter. You're going to get the charter member benefits. So when your friends will get a discount. So I will send you by January 3rd, a custom referral code for you to give to your friends, family, whoever. Your friends will get a special discount when they use your code. For every 3 people that join using your code, you will get a month free. No limits. Every 3 people that join using your code, you will get a month free. All right? So you get your best terms there. So that is what it means to be a charter member. The other thing around being a charter member is that I'm really going to come to you and be looking for you to come to me to let me know, hey, this is the most helpful thing you've given me, or hey, I feel like this is missing, or this is where I'm really having a challenge, or this is what would make this even more valuable for me, so that I can continue to grow and expand what's there and help you more and more and more and more and more over time, right? I am really excited about this. I think it's really a great way to get you cooking at home more often. And that's really the goal, right? We want to achieve all those other things, but you got to go with what's the first behavior change, cooking at home more often, and you'll get those other benefits over time. So I want to help you with that. That's what I'm here for. All right, so I'm super excited. I have my little sign, right? So Supper Club by Pantry to Plate. If you want to read more details, you're ready to sign up, pantrytoplate.net. And this is the code for charter member. Yes, you have to sign up between now and January 1st. You also have to use the code charter25, okay? That's the code. So pantrytoplate.net, charter25, all right? Between now and January 1st, okay? If you have any questions, if you go to Facebook and you look at Pantry to Plate Meals, facebook.com/Pantry to Plate Meals, go to the website, pantrytoplate.net. There's a contact page on the website. That info, those questions, anything, come directly to me or DM me on Facebook. Either way, great. I'm happy to get back to you. So that shows up on my phone. I'll get back to you right away. All right. So I would love to hear from you. You can also drop a comment on this video and I'll get back to you that way. Have a great rest of your holiday. Hopefully you've got more of a break. I'm excited. We do, all of us, the whole family. And here's to a great new year, right? Let's start it off right. Thanks so much. Bye.